Today is Tuesday, November the 26th, 2024. It is the 1-year angelversary of Janice. 1 year in heaven, and yet, well, Janice lived in heaven on earth all her life. I've been connecting to angels for most of my life. For more than half of my life, I've been aware of who I'm connecting to and sharing these messages. And in recent months, I began videoing these messages because they have further, not meaning necessarily, further understanding from seeing these messages that are delivered. I am quite a mess this morning. It's now the afternoon hours. I need to take a breath. And right now what I want to do is not what I want to do, it's what Janice wants me to do. And she wants me to show all of the cows, the fields, and the colors of fall in the trees, which anyone who knew Janice in life knows that Janice loved the North Carolina mountains in particular. I am a mess today, and yet I need to just start off the message with the ending of the message that began yesterday with Janice, and that is that this morning I went to a doctor's appointment, and I have a farm with a lot of animals, and I have 2 special little hens that I always bring inside when I leave. And when I returned today, I brought my one little new special hen out. Her name was Anne with an E. This is part of the message for Jill today. I don't know how Anne with an E, who generates from Anne of Green Gables. And it all makes kind of sense to me with Janice, because I know Janice did live a farm life growing up. I lost my little hen today when I came back from a doctor's appointment, and this little special buff silky hen I brought her outside, and we have a lot of roosters. Everybody's okay with everybody, and I'm always here as the good shepherd. And yet this was a moment where it didn't matter who was there. It happened. And my one rooster, he broke her neck. So she didn't die right away. And yet there was nothing I could do to save her. So let me just get that right out of the way. I don't want to, carry on this message for too much longer than it needs to be. Jill. Janice, your mother. Your mother knew me from the time I was a little baby girl, and your mother and I shared a very close, just a close connection all our life, even with years in between of nothingness between your mother and I. We shared this connection that goes into this message for you today, Jill. And that is, what I call the blueprints of life that heaven creates for us all. Some people call it fate. Some people call it coincidence. You can even call such moments divine coincidence. And yet, where your mother is concerned, Janice, it's everything and beyond. Your mother not only was a life force here in this life, your mother remains very much so alive And in life terms, we would say well. And yet in heaven, it's not about being well. Your mother is with peace. I think that's where it kind of transitions over when we do go to heaven. It's like in life, we want to be well. In heaven, we're with peace. This was a very difficult moment for me this morning, Jill. And I also have to add this, that I knew my little hen, Ann with an E, was needing to lay an egg before I left for this doctor's appointment this morning. And I knew when I put her in her little cage inside our barn dominium, I knew when I returned from this doctor's appointment that there would be an egg there, and there was. The littlest egg. She was a little buff, silky hen. She was so tiny, so fragile. And she appeared out of nowhere in my life. I was looking for hens, but where this little Ann with an E came from was, directly sent from heaven. And so I've been crying for about 3 hours now. And your mother, Janice, has been with me all this time. And your mother has kept saying to me today, and I'm not even getting into the message yet. So I need to first of all just start off by saying, Jill, most of my spirit messages I try to capture in a 20-minute video or so. I cannot apologize for the length of time that will go into this video, as today has catapulted me, Natalie, into a totally different realm in delivering such messages. And yet your mother has remained a constant with me since yesterday. Today is your mother's 1 year, I call angelversary, since she left this life and is in heaven. I even sent you a video this morning which was bizarre on my behalf. You see, usually when I connect with spirit, I connect, I write, and then I video, and then I deliver. And yet your mother, well, we already know Janice is not. And I say is not because remember, it's not past tense. Your mother is not a normal soul. She is a beautiful source of light and life. And so I'm kind of sitting here looking at these cows right now in these fields. Your mom keeps telling me to look to these cows. They're not our cows, okay? These are our neighbors' cows. And they just came here a few days ago. Eight minutes in, let me back up, Jill, to yesterday. Your mother came out of nowhere. When I say your mother came out of nowhere, well, she's an angel. We know this. She's been in heaven for a year as of today, our time. We have to remember that there is no time in heaven. Heaven is eternity. It is eternal time. There is no time. And so when your mother came to me yesterday, well, Natalie is somebody who always has such dates of birth and dates of death in my phone calendar. I was not aware that today was your mom's 1 year angelversary until your mom came to me in my soul yesterday on the 25th of November, Monday. And the first thing that your mom came through with yesterday was, as I've already shared with you, a song by Dave Matthews, Crush. And I was like, this is so weird, you know. Jill, you know, you and I have, over the past year, embraced one another, connected with one another in, well, I guess you can agree, unique, possibly even bizarre ways. You and I grew up on the same street, you know, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But we were never, you and I, connected in life along our own journeys and everything until, you know, the past year or so. These are the ways that heaven works. These are the ways that beyond being an angel as your mother is and your father, beyond the ways that they work. Jill, you know, I have shared with you over the past year a few, messages. I've shared with you songs when your father passed as well, which was, I think, about almost a year before your mom passed, which was, whoa, you know. That's a lot to absorb for you and Jimmy and your family. I never talked to your mother on the phone. We exchanged messages, and yet it was so beautiful for me after your mother passed and transitioned. Passed? What does passed mean? Passed? Your mom didn't pass. Your mom simply took her final breath here in this life, and she was like, boom, I'm here. And here is everywhere. It's not just in the skies. It's not just in the clouds. Here, heaven is everywhere. I have to stand up now. I'm sitting on this rock on a very special part of our farm here, Jill, called, I named it Beaver Hill. That's a whole other story. I won't get into there now because otherwise this will be an hour-long spirit message. And yet at the same time, I can't and I won't apologize for the time that these videos take. Your mother is a rare source, not necessarily force, source of energy, and remains a rare source of energy in this life. Yesterday, your mom, I heard a song by Dave Matthews called Crush. And your mom actually, when I say had me message you yesterday, Jill, heaven doesn't ask us to do anything. Heaven has us do things. It is in life when we get to a certain point in our life, such as with me, where I study heaven and angels my whole life, where we begin to understand that it's not always our mind. It's not always our body. It is our soul. Jill, I think I shared with you, for me, I'm 51 years old. I didn't meet Jesus until I was 48 years old. And it was at that point that I knew what my soul was. I never even questioned what my soul was. I never even asked what my soul was. It was like one of those things. People are like, oh, is Jesus in your soul? Yeah, But when I met Jesus, that was a whole different story for me. And that is really when my world began to catapult, which was a few years ago. From a life of talking to angels and heaven. It was always God and angels I connected with. I didn't know Jesus until I was 48. When I met Jesus, that is when it is when my three entities, as we all have in life, Jill, mind, body, and soul, came into full, oh boy, I don't know what's going on here. Look at this. Your mother loves this. I have to also tell you, hey guys, hey! So I tried to come up on Beaver Hill to do this video in peace. I've been crying for 3 hours. Hey, guys, hey, I'm right here. But now I'm gonna come back here. I don't know what's going on. So my whole farm knows what happened to my little silky hen today. Your mother, Jill, your mother was right there. On the outskirts. She wasn't hovering me. She wasn't like, Natalie. She knew I wanted to give this message to you today. And yet at the same time, your mother already knew what was going to happen to my hen before I knew. And that's what you call divine. I'm right here, guys. Hey, guys, I'm right here. So I'm going to come back in here because I am the good shepherd. And everybody on my farm today knew what had happened with my little hen. One of my roosters, who I've been having issues with. We have a lot of roosters here, Jill. He jumped on her back, and she was a little tiny thing. and he broke her neck, and she did not die right away. So there was nothing I could do, and that's one of the hardest things in life, when there's nothing you can do but sit there and watch. And so, as the life leaves. Hey guys, it's all right, I'm right here. It is important for me to be near my flock at times like this, because not only are they aware of what happened, they are aware of my energy as the shepherd. I am my flocks, all in such ways. Oh, this is hard. So, I just buried this little hen here today. And like I said, your mother was here. This is why it's all relevant to this message, because your mother, Janice, was here with me as I buried my little hen there on Beaver Hill, which we now have 8 bodies buried. Your mother reminded me today, those are bodies. Souls are never buried. Souls are everywhere. Souls are what are eternal. Souls are what we carry with us to heaven. Again, this is really weird. I've never had a message like this before. I'm in a whole other realm right now, which, as you know, Jill, Natalie is always in another realm. And yet, while Natalie is always in another realm, Natalie is also always aware of life as it is. Natalie is not mentally ill or, anything of sorts. Yesterday, your mom had me heard that song by Dave Matthews. She had me message you. She didn't. I don't hear it through my ears. It's my soul. And so I messaged you. Did you like Dave Matthews? You responded, sure. I guess, But I mean, what song, Natalie, It was the song Crush. As soon as you had responded to me, Jill, your mother then this was yesterday, the 25th. Your mother then began to come through very, very clearly. She was like, there you go, Natalie, you got what I needed in order for you to capture Jill's attentions, was something that Jill wasn't expecting. And this is how heaven works, Jill. Anything that captures your attentions in an unusual or unexpected way is always heaven, whether it's God, Jesus, or spirit. And when I say spirit, Jill, I do mean spirit. To me is the same as a soul, is the same as an angel. Spirit, soul, angel. There are the 3 entities of heaven, which is God, Jesus, and spirit. Your mother and father are spirit. I am going to come back here now. They're okay. At that point yesterday, this message is going to be everywhere, by the way, okay? And again, I need you to understand, Jill, which I think you do already, because Natalie's out there. Yeah, I am out there. I am. I'm absolutely out there. I'm everywhere. And yet, isn't that what spirit is? Isn't that what angels are? Is out there everywhere. And yet, that's what in life we don't understand about when those we love do die. We can't capture that essence of, but they're gone. Yeah, sure. You can't hug your mom anymore. You can't pick up the phone anymore and call your mom. And yet your mom and your dad are still very much so alive eternally. You see, the difference between life here and in heaven is that there is no time in heaven. I'm having difficulties, as you also know, with other aspects of my life, and so I'm having to walk away again right now because I can't, do a lot of this. This is a very emotional message that I'm delivering to you, Jill, and I have to laugh. I have to laugh because, I mean, it took me, I had to dig 3 separate holes until I could find a hole that was soft enough to dig for my little hen. And your mom was with me. Your mom did give me a sign, a vision. When I say a vision, I don't mean through my eyes. I didn't see it before my eyes. When I say a vision, I mean it's from my soul. And your mom did give me a vision that my little hen not only was in your mother's arms, she had a red halo. I go, a red halo, Janice? Really, a red halo? What? Why would it be a red halo? These are things I can't question heaven or angels about. I simply receive. Your mom then gave me yesterday, this message is going to go back and forth, Jill, okay? This is how it is right now. This is a very emotional moment for me. And yet, at the same time, what people need to, well, nobody needs to understand anything. What I tried to share is that I do live between 2 worlds of heaven and earth. I am always available for angels. And yet that doesn't mean that my life stops. So when my life keeps going on and yet angels are there, it can make it rather exhausting for me. That's where it gets into where people go, oh, you know, she's mentally ill. I'm not mentally ill. I don't need to assure you of that, Jill. You know. First thing your mother showed me yesterday was a vision of a banana mashed up in a bowl. And I couldn't tell if it was half and half or cream that was on top of this banana. I don't know. At that point, my mind came in and was like, was there sugar on it too? Because that's what I like to do when I mash up a banana. And your mother at that point gave me what I refer to as a swipe. Okay? When spirit is coming through me, spirit is utilizing my soul. I do need my mind and my body at some point to generate that, to create it into the message that I deliver. But when spirit is coming through, all spirit wants is my soul. My soul, our soul, your soul has no time. That's what creates the eternity when we go to beyond the skies, to infinity and beyond. And so these messages that come through so fast, there's no time. There's no time. You can't even equate it to time. It's not faster than a speeding bullet. It's not faster than a stealth bomber, fighter jet. There is no speed to it. So what happens with me as a messenger is that when my mind wants to connect, as it did yesterday with the banana going, oh, is there sugar on it too? Spirit knows, your mother knew that my mind started to kick in. And that's when spirit will go swipe, like charades. A game of charades. Just keep going, keep going. Your mom needed me to say that. Bananas with cream or whatever. Bananas with cream. Right after that, I heard your mother say the word sycamore tree. Okay, so I'm a nature lover. I know things, but a sycamore tree, you know. So these messages that are going to begin to come through right now in 23 minutes into this, dear Lord, this is going to be a long message, and I apologize, but please bear with me, Jill, because it is real and it is beautiful. It just so happens that all of this began, you know, with my hen today, and I'm between 2 worlds right now. Your mother also gave me a vision of a pearl necklace. It was not a normal looking pearl necklace, not just a pearl necklace. There was something on this pearl necklace, something, maybe a pendant, you know, something hanging from it. Maybe there was even, you know, turquoise colored something to it. I don't know. Your mother smiled as I began to wonder what it was I saw, and she swiped me again. The importance of angels, your mother swiping me when I'm receiving these messages, is they don't want my mind my creativities, my thoughts involved in these messages. It's okay if Natalie doesn't get the whole gist of the picture, so long as Natalie receives what is important. On the other hand, what's also important for you to remember and know, Jill, is that these messages are for you, not for me. So I can't decipher what I share with you. I share all that I receive. These become your treasure hunts in life. And I do smile because your name is Jill. And I do know your son's name is Jack. And I do know you've lived a life with Jack and Jill and all of that. And that's the beauty of your mother coming through to me, knowing that Natalie has been living my own life in fairy tale ways, in metaphor, in cliche, as well as in sharing with life that we can all live these ways, fairy tale ways. We only think of fairy tales as, well, they're fairy tales. But the reality is, heaven does, your mother and your father do leave behind trinkets and treasures for us to find each and every day. They leave behind for us breadcrumbs, metaphorically speaking, to find the signs, whether it's numbers, 1111, 444, or, you see a billboard that has something on there that reminds you. The list is endless. This pearl necklace, your mother definitely wants you to be aware of. Your mother then also showed me a vision of oak trees. Oak trees. And the sun was shining through these oak trees in this vision that came from not my eyes, not before me, a vision from my soul. You have heard of people having a third eye. Well, Jill, I'm not all into, the studies of, I don't consider myself a psychic or a medium or anything like that. I do connect to angels. I'm not here to diagnose myself in such ways. I rather continue to learn what I receive, and the ways that I learn is by sharing with life. I was afraid to share for most of my life what I was receiving from heaven, from angels. And about 25 years ago, when I began to share, that is when I began to be able to make sense that what I was receiving through my soul beyond my mind or body is real. Your mom loves, we already know, the North Carolina mountains. I think that's all she ever posted on her Facebook. What was his name? Jack something. I don't even know. He had the most beautiful photographs of just trees and stuff. And I mean, look where I am. Look where I am, Jill. All these trees around here right now with the fall colors. This is your mother. She wants you to embrace these colors of fall right now. We are in the season of the holidays. Thanksgiving is just in, 2 days, and then Christmas follows behind. And this will be a difficult time for your family, for you, for Jimmy. And your mom wants you to embrace what your mom always loved in this life. Your father is a beautiful man. He is like most men, as I say. He's a silent life force, that his silence speaks louder than his words ever needed to. But oh boy, let me tell you, your dad is alive and well, and he does represent behind your mother. I love whenever I see in heaven, when there's two souls, married souls in life, that are in heaven together. I love when I see that the man, the husband, comes behind the wife. Your father came behind your wife, his wife, not your wife, his wife. And he was like, he had hair. He looked like he was like 50 years old, and he was wearing simple clothes. He had me see a dimple here on his cheek, and he was like, make sure Jill sees the dimple. It was a dimple I believe wasn't maybe seen often, but was there. For those who could see his dimple when he was truly happy, that dimple presented. Your mother showed me, well, let me back up, because at that point also your father, when he came from behind your mother in this vision, he was like ready to go, to your mother, and she was like, yes, your mother was always ready to go, yes, and off they went to dance classes in heaven. dance classes. Dance classes. Jill, I know this sounds all crazy. I'm used to being told what I think is crazy. Remember, this is not what I think. This is not what I envision from my mind's creativities. This is not creative writing for Natalie. This is not Natalie wanting to bring peace to people's lives with kind words. These are messages directly from heaven and from angels. Whatever doesn't make sense to you today, I usually tell people it may take 1 to 3 days for it all to make sense to you. The basis of these video messages and the messages delivered are that they become your foundation to a further learning for your own self in this life to embrace beyond the notion that heaven is real, angels are real, and life is eternal. I call it parallel universes, the parallel skies, meaning your mother and father in heaven and you are here on earth, so you can't hug each other, you can't pick up the phone and call them, and yet these are the ways that as angels present to us in life, family, as your mom and dad are today, presenting to us that we can create a new life in a parallel way, so long as we understand that parallel will never be able to connect in these ways, crisscross, but parallel is a beautiful way to live. And so that is where you do come to realize that you can seek the trinkets and treasures and the breadcrumbs, the signs, the numbers, the songs. Look up those words to the song by Dave Matthews, Crush. I heard that song again on my way to a doctor's appointment this morning, which I sent you a video this morning earlier. Whoa. Because that song, to me, I've heard that song for like 30 years of my life, and I always associated that with like a man singing it to a woman. But no, Jill. This song by Dave Matthews, Crush, was your mother utilizing the words of this song to deliver to you, her daughter. Listen to those words. Now is also your time, Jill. It's been a year. And 2 years with your father. Now is your time to create, whether it's a journal, a binder of some sort of notebook, anything for you to capture and save and preserve such moments that you do see in your life. Whether you capture a picture one day of a praying mantis and you're like, hey, that reminds me of my mom, print the picture off, put it in here. Whether you come home from work one day and you have a thought, hey, I thought I saw my mom, write it down. These are your ways to capture and hold on to. Your mom also heard me, she had me hear several songs. One of them was also by Led Zeppelin, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Again, I am like a mailman. I don't open mail, I deliver it. There are rules for the messenger, who is me. I don't know what a lot of these messages mean, while many of the messages that are delivered do have what's considered universal divine knowing. Angels love to utilize music as the number one source of delivering messages because, well, the words are there. That's easy peasy, right? There's the words. Then you get into the visions. Your mother gave me a vision of a buffet style antique hutch. Well, I know in my mind your mother was into antiques. I know you all lived in that historical home, there in Maryland. But this is special. Your mom was very specific in this vision, showing me this like buffet. It was very curvy, okay? There was like curves to this buffet hutch. She also had me focus on the drawers. I don't know why. Again, you are supposed to know why, and if you don't know why today, you will figure it out within 1 to 3 days, I'm certain. She had me feel like this buffet style table, whatever you call it, was of Amish descent. Oak wood. Remember just earlier in this long message already today, your mother brought up the sycamore tree, and then she brought up oak trees, and now she was bringing up the oak again. Oak wood, very special to your mother. This hush buffet piece, while she was showing me this vision, she also had me turn my head to see her in a vision. Her meaning, well, your mother is no longer a person. She is energy. She is a soul. And yet as energy and souls, we are able to give such visions to life. Like I saw your dad, like he looked like he was 50 years old and he had hair and stuff with a dimple. We can be anything we want. And it is what we utilize as angels to deliver to life such messages. Your mom at that point had me look at her, and she had a little barrette in her hair. And she did like a little swing of her head, like she was just like, hey, but look at the barrette, okay? So note the barrette in your mom's hair is very special. I don't know if you held on to this barrette. I don't know if your mom wore barrettes. I really hadn't seen your mom in several years prior to her becoming an angel in heaven. Your mother says, Jill, Jill, Jill. So smart. So smart. She says Jill must know she was smart, I think before she was even born. And then she kind of laughed and she was like, I guess that's from me. And yet your mom also laughed because I guess in life, maybe I don't know, this is for you. Your mom didn't feel smart in life in those ways. And yet she embraced your intelligence in such ways that you became somewhat of a very strong, daughter presence in her life. Of beyond the love, it was your knowings in life that your mother trusted always. She also had me hear Spirit also presents in specific ways. It's going to capture your attentions. Again, it means nothing to me. It's supposed to mean something to you. I can't decipher it all. I do know of the universal things that make sense, but such things as your mother brought up head and shoulders. Okay, well, for me, my mind came in at that point and was like, oh, head and shoulders dandruff shampoo. I don't know, Jill. It could be your mom is wanting you to just know, something in head and shoulders dandruff shampoo means something to you in life. But it also could mean, without my mind, head and shoulders, she's possibly referring to you. Have your head on your shoulders. Going back to how smart. And this is her pride. Your mother will carry her pride eternally for you and for Jimmy. This message is specifically for you today, by the way, Jill, because I am connected with you. I'm not connected with Jimmy in such ways. The cardinal, the red bird, the infamous, most universally known spirit animal to life itself is the cardinal. I think anybody knows that. Your mother loves the cardinal. She said it 3 times to me. When she said it 3 times, I said, why did you say it 3 times? And she said, And I said, well, what? And okay, 3 times. 3 is the entities of heaven. 3, God, Jesus, and Spirit. What we need to remember here in life, Jill, is that 3 is also our entities in life, mind, body, and soul. Or in other words, me, myself, and I. 3 is also very much so representative of Jesus. Your mother is definitely a friend of Jesus, and he loves her so. I'm still getting over the fact that your parents had dance classes in heaven, and that was so funny. Your dad was like, come on. And he didn't call her Janice. I don't know what he called her, and I don't think it was Jan either. It was something like maybe Jay. I don't know, but he was like, come on, Jay. Let's go. Your mom wants you to keep feeding the birds, is what she said. And at the same time, she also said, make sure you, Jill, have plenty of firewood. Your mom is all over the place. She was all over the place here in life. I'm all over the place. That's why your mom and I loved each other in life. That's why your mom and I continue to love each other from parallel universes. Your mom was everywhere. She was lots of winks. Your father showed me after their dance class. Again, there's no time in heaven, so there's no sequence of events when these visions come through, Jill. I know it's hard to understand. I think you're continuing to understand the ways that Natalie connects. And this is beautiful for you because that's what it's all about. This is why your mother had you and I connect, Jill. It is all for you. Your dad presented and showed me a wood pile, and he showed me a woodpecker, a bird. So your mom shows me the cardinal. Your dad shows me the woodpecker. Okay, guys, come on, easy. Oh, this has been a long day. He had me see that this woodpecker had the reddest color comb, you know, like a rooster has. You know, well, the woodpeckers have them too. He had me see this red part on this woodpecker, and this red color was so beyond color, which is something that's also hard for me to explain to life when heaven is presenting such images. The colors of heaven are, there's no color to define in words. Here, there's no dimension in heaven. And yet, heaven understands we need to have such life words to describe what we see. Your dad wants you to be aware of the woodpecker and smile whenever you see it and think of him. And then both of your parents said, don't forget the cooler. And when they said, don't forget the cooler, they showed me a little mini pack, like a frozen thing that you put into like a child's size lunch. You know, and this was where Jack came into the picture. Part of the message for Jack. Don't forget the cooler. I saw a lunch for your son. This is your parents' way of letting you and Jack know that they are still with you. They still do go to school with him. Not still do go to school with him, they do go to school with him. They couldn't go to school with him when they were here, you know, but in their soul they can. And that's the beautiful thing for us to know in life, is that that's what makes angels beautiful. Is that we can be everywhere. We can be in Rome and in China and in the United States all at the same time. Your mother and father are with you all, always. Your mom then gave me a vision of her wearing a beret-style hat. When I say beret, I guess I have one. I was wearing one earlier today. That's even more bizarre. Beret-style hat. When I say beret, I'm thinking Paris, you know, like a little Paris hat, you know. And your mom was looking fabulous. She looked like a model, actually. I'd never seen your mom in life like this. She was like, ooh, wee, wee. And she took the beret off at that point and she tossed it into the air. And she said, "Viva la France." What? Again, Jill, you need to know this becomes part of your new journey. It is said that in life, when we lose somebody that we love, they go to heaven. It takes us in life about a year to go through all of the firsts. The first birthdays, the first anniversaries, the first celebrations, the first holidays, the first everything. Okay? So now this is your mother and your father's way of presenting in more direct ways to you, saying, we did it from parallel universes. We, your parents, and you, Jack, Jimmy, everybody. Now is the time to begin embracing it, to begin to explore beyond what can ever be scientifically validated as anything, Jill. Our soul can only be validated by, well, heaven. Your mom even said, explore your world, Jill. Take that bucket. Jack and Jill with the bucket. I was like, come on, Janice. I was like, come on. And, Jill, to be honest, at times like that, when your mom came through with that message, I was like, come on, Janice, that's my mind, And she's like, no, it's not. Explore your world, Jill. Take that bucket and show Jack how to start his own fairy tale life. She wants you both. To remain connected to the love that was shared in life. Your mom also showed me some eggs in a special crate, a holder, okay? Not like a regular egg crate. It was a special holder. I don't know if this is something that you have, maybe that you took, inherited, that she gave to you, or that when you were cleaning out their home that you brought with you. One of the things, your mom says, thank you for saving what you did. Thank you for saving what you did. Your dad then put music on, and I don't even know what music it was. I couldn't hear it, but your dad loves to dance. And I didn't know your dad in life, Jill. I don't know if he was a dancer. I don't know if they took dance classes or anything like that, but your dad loves to dance in heaven. And the music started again, and your dad was not bashful at all. He was gentlemanly, and he nodded to your mother, and he invited her onto the dance floor, of which was all bright white light. And at that point, I saw your mother, and she was wearing red sparkly shoes. She was like, they're not heels. That's what your mom said. They're not heels. I was like, okay, Janice, Beautiful visions. Your mom also mentioned to me green beans and lima beans in particular. And then she's like pinto beans and mashed potatoes, and she was laughing, and she was like, oh yeah. She is living at large in heaven with food. She also at that point smiled, and she showed me a tooth in the back of her mouth. I don't know. This tooth was like very sparkly. I don't know if maybe she had a crown or a molar, I don't know, a filling or something. These are your messages, not mine. Remember, I am the mail person. I don't know what you owe for your utilities. I don't open the mail, I deliver it. Some of it makes sense to me, some of it doesn't. After you receive this message, Jill, take 1 to 3 days to absorb it all. Watch the video a couple of times, a few times, however many times you want to. Take notes, actually. And what doesn't make sense, come back to me. I will help you make sense of it. It'll be your mother and father helping me help you make sense of it. Not all about Natalie, okay? Your mother did delight that she's in dance classes in heaven with your father. This morning when I woke up, I heard the word, I don't know a lot of fashion stuff, but that's weird she brought up Paris, because she also brought up this morning Dolce and Gabbana or something. I don't know, Jill. Dolce and Gabbana. I don't know if there's something that you perhaps saved from your mother that was, a purse or something along those lines. Your mom also said, as she said, she shared a vision that she has a bird's eye view. Your mother has a bird's eye view of life. She also showed me rolled coins. Like when you get pennies or quarters and nickels and you put them in the little paper wrappers to bring to the bank or whatever. She showed me this, and at the same time, she also had me see Jack. I don't know what your son looks like. I'd never met your son before. I know that it was Jack she was looking at. This could have been something that your mom and dad did with Jack. Roll coins. I don't know. These are all your parents' ways of letting you know that their life remains alive and well and real. And your mother does want you to begin your very own Jack and Jill fairy tale adventure life. She says it is in due time, and it is time for you to begin collecting those breadcrumbs and trinkets and treasures along the way. This is why your mother had you connect with Natalie to begin with. Your mother loved me. I loved your mother. Your mother was very much so a fairy tale adventure. And I find it most beautiful that with everything that happened to me today, that your mother did show me she's holding my hen, my precious hen, who I'm still processing. Just died a few hours ago, and it was a most horrific moment. I saw her neck got broken. This rooster that we have here is just an awful rooster, and I've been doing everything to help him and getting new girls for him. And my little hen, well, she was a special hen. She was a buff, silky, you know, she looked like a llama, an alpaca. I think I cried for an hour and a half. I have a big headache right now. I can't even believe I was able to give this message. And yet at the same time, it's not about time. And when it comes to angels, Jill, it is about delivering messages. And this was a most special message, is a most special day for you in this life. Because in life, we do need time. That's all we have. We do need dates. We do need angelversaries. We do need birthdays and holidays to remember those that we love. Your mom and dad want you to know that they will never be past tense. They are alive. So it's not that, oh, I loved my parents. You love your parents. Remember that, Jill. I can't apologize for the length of this video, though I will say this is the longest spirit message video I have ever given in my life. And yet, I would expect nothing less from Janice alone. And your father. I love your dad. And I didn't even know your dad that much in life. You are loved. And not in past tense. And I hope you are able to embrace this message. Again, it's going to take maybe several times to watch this video, but also remember, Jill, to drink a lot of water. When you're receiving these messages, it is coming directly from your soul as well. That's much different than our mind and body, which we're used to in life, you know, surviving by. When it comes from our soul, it does dehydrate us very quickly. The more you are hydrated with water, the more things will be clear, the more you will be balanced, and you won't have a headache. I haven't had enough water today, and I've cried a lot. And so the crying does dehydrate us as well. I'm most grateful to feel your parents' blessings upon you and your family. Come to me. Any questions? I know you know I'm not crazy. It is crazy, even to me at times, and I can't explain it all. And yet it is all very real. And I'm certain that with all of these little trinkets and treasures of messages delivered to you today, that they will make sense to you as they are meant to, because they are direct messages from heaven, from your mother and father to you. May God bless you, Jill. I look forward to hearing from you soon.